Remember that hit from the 80s? Forever Young? Mm-hmm. Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are...
Ryan and John.
On the couch, as always, Cara, Tafolla, producer of this fine show. And joining us this week is Annie the Skovmand.
What the?
It's true.
I didn't know.
You guys remember that show, That's So Raven?
Yeah, I'm going to turn this off. It's giving an interesting hum.
I can see that's so Raven.
Thank you.
Mysterious
John,
to me.
All right,
do you remember
That's enough.
the last name of the main character of that show?
Baxter.
Okay, the actress.
in real life.
Yes,
in
yes,
real life.
yes,
Oh,
correct.
Raven Simone?
You would think so, wouldn't you? I found out recently her name is actually pronounced Simone.
Simone.
Is that like a rebranding
Simone.
thing?
No,
or is
it's
that really
French.
true?
You know,
That's how
it's
she
hard to
actually
say.
pronounces it.
I feel like it was a case of one of those things where it's like somebody said it wrong once and then she just didn't
She's like,
correct
I like
them.
it.
And it was like, yeah, that's fine. And then Disney for
I bet.
20 years was like, Raven
Did
Simone.
nobody just say like, there's an accent mark over the N?
Simone?
Yeah, there. Or is it over the N or the E?
The E. It would be
Is
over,
it over
the
the
E.
E?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like Jake Gyllenhaal. I watched I believe it was a Conan, and he said his last name correctly.
How do you say it?
It's like Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal?
saw that
It's like
too.
Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal.
Oh, like it's Swedish or something?
Well, because it is, and it was
gotta-
so interesting.
That's interesting.
Kind of saucy.
Kind of fun.
But it was
our
that
cam
whole
right there?
thing.
Yeah, it's right.
But I'm gonna butcher his name, and he had this whole beautiful moment. Hassan.
Okay, hold on. Let's pause really quick because we got to get that fixed. I think it's because it's still set to 4K.
Oh.
I was using it over the weekend.
How do you say his name?
I turned it on.
Hassan Minaj.
So I'll just do that when it.
Weird.
Jump right back in where you just said.
But that's like Hassan Minaj, and I probably butchered his name.
Hassan Minaj?
Who's that?
Hassan Minaj?
But he had this thing on Ellen one time where Ellen said his
comedian.
name and she goes, I said it correctly, right? And he said no. And he corrected her. And he was like, if you can learn Timothy Chalamet, you can learn my name.
Whoa.
And he's like,
that's
because there was like
interesting.
a whole like generation of like people that were just kind of told by Hollywood, like make it simple and easy.
And that's the root of the Raven thing. Is apparently
Rihanna.
what?
It's not Rihanna. It's Rihanna.
Yeah.
Really?
Or even what's her face? Ariana
Oh yeah.
Grande, but
not Ariana.
It's Grande.
it's like great like Grandy.
What?
Not
No,
She
it's
said-
not.
she said
You're
it.
making crap up now.
No,
There's no
she,
way.
Ariana
she
Grande?
said it. She said it on, I want to say Howard Stern.
Oh, weird.
And she's like, hey, this is Ariana
It's funny because
Grande.
it sounds like you're making it up. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
not Grande, it's Grande.
It's Grande.
It's
Grande.
Grande, right? I mean, come on.
But that's also like Dax Shepard. He goes
It's
by
actually
like,
Docs.
no.
Shepard. Shepard.
But like, if you listen to Armchair Expert, he introduces himself like multiple ways. He'll do Dan, Dax, Dan. Like, so maybe once his like real name and once kind of like the name he went
Oh,
with.
his name's not Dax?
I don't know.
His
I've
parents
literally-
didn't name him Dax?
Worked at places where the entire time I've worked there, I have not corrected one person when they say my name wrong.
No.
how
'cause I'm
how do
just-
they
I-
say your name wrong? I'm curious.
Cara.
Everybody
Cara.
says Cara.
Everyone
I can
says
see that,
Cara,
I
and
guess.
I'll say, oh, it's Cara one time.
Yep.
You get one time if I don't like
yeah.
you.
One correct.
Oh.
And then the rest of the time, it's like, oh, Cara, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll answer to it.
What do you get?
I never get anything. Well,
last
not
name.
true. My last name gets
Rian?
messed up all the time.
Rian.
Tafolla. I get Tafolla and
This is my
I
favorite
get
moment about your wedding. What are you talking about?
Tafolla. Yeah. Oh yeah. Blessed Monsignor. He said Taloifa.
Talofla.
I think he just. That was beyond.
just an old
he just couldn't
Irish
even read
priest.
it. Yeah.
He's
But by the
fine.
way,
Yeah.
this is so funny because he like started to say it and he couldn't get it, and then everybody just screams Tafolla. It was like
The
really
footage
cool.
is
Classic.
great. We have that footage.
Well, speaking of Rihanna, she's playing the Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh yeah.
She's not playing.
she is.
not-
She's
yeah,
a quarterbacker.
she's quarterback for the Eagles. Sorry,
you
she
know
will
it?
be performing a musical act.
I'm excited. She hasn't like performed or come out with any music in years.
Are you Are you a Rihanna stan?
So it begs the question: why is she performing if
know.
she hasn't put any music out?
Okay, but they do that all the time.
Yeah.
They choose
Yeah.
people where you're like, really?
Maybe it's like a comeback thing. Like
Best
Probably
Super Bowl halftime musical artist of all time.
easy.
Lady Gaga.
Go ahead.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
or I would argue Prince.
Oh, the Prince one's good too.
Because there's a really cool story behind his too
Mm-hmm.
that I saw on a little doc about. I think it was either about Prince or it was about Super Bowl halftimes. I don't know. And it was raining the day they were supposed to do it, and the producer of the show calls up Prince or people. You can't just call Prince, and he calls people and he gets connected and he's like, "Hey Prince, I'm so sorry. We totally understand if you want to cancel. I totally get it." And in classic Prince fashion, he goes, "I just have one question, or I just have one demand." And he's like, "Yeah, anything, whatever you want." He's like, "Do you think you can make it rain harder?" And he goes out there and
Awesome.
just freaking slays on
Does
that
the whole show.
I mean, guitar.
He's singing Purple Rain and it's raining and there's, 100,000 people there. It's perfect.
It's amazing, man.
Could have been better.
You just see that every time Prince, I feel gets on stage, it was insane, man. But
So who's your team this weekend? You got two choices. You got the Chiefs and you got the Eagles.
Is the Chiefs Kansas City?
Yes, Kansas City and the Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
Eagles.
I'm in for Philly.
I think Annie, go first. You choose one.
I know nothing about either of them.
Well, now
I'm
you know
going to
the
go
names.
off of their mascots
Yes.
and their names.
I'm gonna go.
Chiefs got some issues there. People could be mad about
A
that.
little bit canceled, yeah.
A little bit canceled. Eagles, I don't like their colors.
Their colors are bad.
Colors are bad.
Green and silver? You're not a fan?
I can get more behind the colors of the Chiefs.
The
so
red
I'm
and
going to
white.
go Chiefs.
Interesting. Okay,
And I
canceled.
always like to
White.
walk that edge of being
Yes,
canceled.
you do, don't you?
I do.
My lovely wife, go ahead.
I'm going for the Eagles only because of Philly.
Because they're from Philly.
Do you? Oh, because it's Cara Philly. I like
resonate
that.
with
Cute.
Philly. So,
Brian,
All right, Rye Guy, you're up, dog.
what's up, dog?
I'm curious what your thoughts are first, John. I'm
think
going to
so?
form my opinion based
Okay.
on the three of you.
I am going. So my heart says Eagles
Yeah.
only because I feel like the Chiefs have a big ego thing with their quarterback's brother is a TikTok star, and I guess he's wreaks havoc on the
He
internet
is?
when they win.
Whoa.
His name is
Interesting.
Jackson Mahomes, and
Okay.
their Chiefs quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, and Jackson Mahomes is makes all this drama on TikTok about his brother playing, and he's gotten kicked out of games before and
That's
stuff.
funny.
So I don't like the Chiefs, but the reason I want the Chiefs to win is because Jake, who's an avid listener of the show, has a friend who bet $50,000 on
No.
the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and if you're wondering what pays out on something like that, it's $250,000.
How do they set those odds?
I think there's places you can do it,
And
right?
a lot of times,
It wouldn't
I
just be 50-50, like 1-to-1 odds or something?
Well, so I don't know how betting works, but to some degree, there's they set somebody sets a number. Either it's a betting
Sure.
league or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then depending on what side
Based
you take,
on their stats,
you get
probably.
that, right? So in this instance, and I realize big bettors like Jake's friend is. He doesn't do it all in one spot. And I also heard that about Mattress Mac is, when Mattress Mac
That's right.
won that big payout, the $75 million.
For the World Series, right?
Yeah, he's set $5 million in 3 different spots. So it doesn't always necessarily come from the same place. They move it around. So yeah, sure, it might have been 50-50 odds, but if you think about splitting it up a certain way, it probably makes sense.
So
but-
you're with Jake's friend, the better.
because
you're going
Jake's-
Chiefs.
Jake, his friend group now, the kid that did all this, he's not a kid, he's an adult, but I won't say his name.
He's a
because
kid
I don't
at
know,
heart.
He's not super public. But he has said that he's going to take all of his friends to Vegas. A huge Vegas trip.
So you're
if they
trying to
win.
get on that trip.
I don't want it on the trip at all.
I
You just
do,
think it's a
but
cool thing.
I
he's
just
gonna
think it's
do.
so cool. And again, he's done this before where he's bet on the Chiefs for integral games, and the most he's won is a couple $1,000s or whatever. I think one time he won $30,000 on a football game.
Wow.
And then Jake was telling me that he just bet on a tennis game. It was some random
the
guy,
heck?
and he won like $5,000. Like just
So he's been
crazy
saving up all his
stuff.
winnings to bet on this Super
Sure,
Bowl.
and he's always betting. I mean,
Wow.
he is just like a really good gambler. And he also, when I was at Jake's bachelor party, he was like one of the guys that, you know, he goes to the high roller room and he'll play for hours and he'll go up thousands and go down
That's so
thousands.
scary.
And it's like, but he's good at it. I mean,
That is scary.
The house always wins, I think,
Of
to some
course.
degree. But yeah, so I'm with the Chiefs because I want to see that happen. I think that'd be so epic. I really couldn't care.
I don't know if the house has an advantage when it comes to a sport game.
I mean, at the casino mostly.
Sporting event.
But yeah, you're right.
I feel like the Eagles are such an underdog that betting on it is like,
Yeah, it must be. I'm for posterity here. I'm going Eagles as well.
Okay.
Because we've got, you know, we're split. We're
Oh,
house
okay,
divided
okay.
here at the podcast. So
Well, I will say I don't think the Eagles are the underdogs in this scenario. I think a lot of people are expecting the Eagles to win.
Really?
is that the case?
But the Kansas City Chiefs are definitely more well known, and they've actually been to 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. The Chiefs have.
Interesting.
So-
I think the Phillies are just Philadelphia is a city full of underdogs. So I think that's like kind of why you're feeling that maybe.
Sure.
well, no, they haven't gone. The last Super Bowl they went to was like 12, 13 years ago or something.
No, it was
Right?
It was recently. It was like 5 years ago, something like that. 4 or 5 years ago. They did the whole Always Sunny thing where the Eagles went to the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't that like 2008?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, to correct the number, I just got
Go
the number
ahead.
because I texted Jake.
Oh, no.
It's 237,000
Is the payout.
is the payout. But Jake just told me something kind of interesting. He said that he's going to hedge his bets so he doesn't walk away with nothing. So it'll probably end up being like 150, but not a bad.
That's probably a good call.
What does that mean?
It
Hedge.
means when you hedge your bets, you make other bets that kind of go against your big bet. So like he
even out.
probably put like 75 grand on the other, you know, on what do you call it? The Chiefs to like even it out, or the opposite team.
So you
Isn't
don't
that
get- so
right
you
when
don't
you
get
hedge your bets,
nothing.
you don't go away with such a big loss, but you also don't win the full amount that you could. Be winning.
Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly
Playing
how
it
works,
safe,
but
basically.
that makes sense, right? You
Right.
kind of pull back. It's
Right.
almost like insurance when you're playing
It's like
blackjack. You know,
insurance.
you're making side bets just in case, but then you end up not.
Got to
making
play
as
the
much.
odds.
Play the odds.
Well,
but yeah.
Speaking of Middle America.
Philly?
Yeah, Philly, Kansas City. Some really interesting things happened last week. Were you guys following this China spy balloon thing?
Yes.
In North Carolina, right?
Well, in Montana too.
It
They shot it down over Montana, right?
Did they?
That's what I heard.
thought it was in North
Give me the
Carolina.
scoop, Annie. Because I only briefly heard a little bit about it.
Basically, I guess it's the third one. This
Yeah.
is like multiple now.
They gotta
So
get better
China,
at
it's a
this.
basically a giant balloon with some sort of spy equipment tied to it. And China sent it on over. I was talking to my mom about it this morning, and she was like, "Yeah, Annie, they're spying on us, but everyone's spying on everyone, and we just like to pretend like it's not happening." And I go, "What if it was a distraction? What if they sent us this balloon with all their junk technology tied to it, and they're like, this is so out of date, but America doesn't know that, and just sent it on
It's
over
like a
and
decoy.
watched us, and watched
Oh.
us just crumble."
I did. This is obviously a little more of a right-wing conservative view, but I saw a Facebook post that said, "Don't you see? Like, this is COVID too. Like, we shot it down over our
a
country,
new strain.
and it spread over everything."
It was
It's
shot
COVID
down
part
in,
two. Don't you see? We did it to ourselves.
off the coast of South Carolina.
It was
When it was shot down. So
Other-
it might
other
have
side of the
started
country.
in Montana.
Yeah, it was. I think
Carolina.
maybe
And it went-
something about Montana.
Why would they? So why a balloon? Why not like just like a satellite?
I think it doesn't.
or
Get,
like
I think it's not big enough to get picked up on radars,
Oh,
so it won't get shot down before it has hit over land.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of aircraft technology that would
Sure.
notify them, miles before it hit the coast of America. But Yeah, maybe that is. I don't know. I saw a really funny meme where it said like, "This is just a balloon. We're not spying." It was just like painted on this. It looked like it was painted on the side of it. It was
Awesome. Totally not spying
good.
on you.
We're not spying
The
on you.
videos of it being shot down were crazy. It's like all these people who are literally like at the beach in
Yeah.
South Carolina
Just
and
like,
they're
what is
watching and they're like,
happening?
oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you? That'd be cool. I
They
think
fully
it'd be fun.
launched like a missile at it. Like it
Yeah.
was pretty cool, actually.
I also think I don't like why. Like China,
I'm sure
isn't
they're
there
gonna
easier
recover
ways
it.
to spy? Like that's kind of old school. A balloon.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like it
It's a
seems
diversion.
a little primitive.
That's why I like to think that it's they
Yeah,
just did
you
this
know
to
what?
f with
Diversion
us.
thing is not a bad play.
Did you get my reference?
That
It's a diversion.
you've taken a barnacle and you've covered it with bioluminescent algae.
As a diversion.
You ever seen Moana, John?
Have you-
That was the
have
crab.
you
That was the
seen
crab from Moana.
Maybe once or twice, but I haven't like watched it a ton.
You got kids running around here. You haven't watched Moana?
Once or twice? I think I've seen
Yeah,
Moana
it's kind of
like
a,
6
kind of a
Why?
princess movie, I
It's
guess.
so good.
Oh, you just like watching it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I heard somebody said that apparently during Trump's presidency, 2 different Chinese spy balloons went over, and
Yeah.
and they covered the whole thing up and didn't
Yeah.
like kept it out of the public eye.
This is the third one.
2 of them.
That makes sense actually for Trump. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And they just
no,
were
for
like,
sure.
it was nothing.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that didn't have to be declassified though. Like it's just there, you know. So-
Right.
Yeah, it's
Why do they
interesting.
keep? It is an interesting question as to why they keep trying this thing that clearly isn't working. And also, why didn't we shoot it down before? Like as soon as we saw, I guess like safety wise, you have to be careful, but
yeah,
you know,
to
like,
a degree.
like
gotta
why
get
did we
an
let it go all the
F-22.
way?
Yeah, I think maybe it was up there longer than we realized, and maybe they did some real damage before we even got to it. Took
I
our
mean,
secrets.
Yeah, TikTok's doing that anyway, so I don't know why they're sending a balloon. This is getting people to sign up for TikTok.
Yeah,
that's
of
the whole
course.
thing, right?
That's right. Wasn't they? They were gonna like
that was a
close
huge
it off
thing. It
because
was
China
TikTok.
was.
TikTok was China spying on us.
Hey, I will say, I do
what
think there
happened to
is
that?
a heavy amount of like, you know, when you like any app, when you download apps, you have access to a lot of
Data
people's phone.
sharing, of course.
Well,
But-
another thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't really care. I've never understood. Like, I get the right to privacy, of course. You know, like obviously nothing that can be held against you that wasn't like lawfully, you know, obtained to some degree. But like, I've never really understood. And I guess again, identity fraud is a huge deal, and I understand that portion, like the crime portion of it.
Yeah.
But I've always been like, I've never really been a huge like, oh, I don't want anybody like going to my phone
My
and it's
I
like,
think the
Really?
information they were trying to gather was regarding like nuclear sites, like where we're keeping the nukes, where the
Sure.
silos are at, so that if China decides they want to, you know, target certain spots and take out our nukes, they can just.
Oh. Well, that makes sense in this scenario, but I was just saying, like, in general, the whole privacy conversation, which is such a huge
Oh, yeah.
conversation in the U.S. all the time, because there's like this, you know, the U.S. is like no other place. Like freedom is number one, or at least
Sure.
it claims to be. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm in that conversation. I'm always like, I don't really get why people are so worried about it. Like, I could. You could have any access to my phone. I mean, like, sure, like, there's probably things I wouldn't necessarily want you to see, but there isn't anything that I'm like, I have to delete this right away, you know? But
Sure.
I don't know. I guess that's boring, but
Pretty boring. Pretty boring of you. Well, hey guys, great podcast today. That was absolutely fantastic.
podcast today.
I did the
We have
last
so many-
transition,
we have
so
so many things to talk about.
I
I was gonna
Yeah.
try
Do
and
it.
make. I was gonna try and make a transition to the whole BORGs thing, but like,
Sure.
it's like my drink. You know what I'm saying? Like privacy. You know, everything's so
Oh.
individual now.
you know what?
You know?
Like retain your privacy. What you drink is
retain
your
your
privacy,
privacy.
and you can't let other people like put stuff in your drink.
Yeah, and
that
I
brings
heard
up
something about
a great
BORGs.
topic. BORGs is actually this thing that we're talking about, and it is a acronym.
Oh, it's an acronym.
Did you know
I
a
didn't know
BORG is
that.
a bottle? Oh, no. I'm messing it up. I'm already messing it up. Blackout rage gallon. That's what it is.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Blackout rage gallon.
And you know it is. Of
Yeah.
I
course.
didn't
Oh, it
know
is.
it stood
I almost
for
messed it up.
that.
Yeah, blackout rage gallon. And basically
Disgusting.
TikTok is blowing up. Mostly the millennials on TikTok are blowing up
Tip-top?
because
Tip-top.
well, whatever, you know what it's called. That app that we spend 9 hours a day on.
I know. I need to stop.
All of
I
the
need to stop watching
millennials are freaking out because Gen Z is apparently doing this thing where they're going to parties on the weekend, mostly college students, and they've got these gallons, and instead of, a big community, what do you call
Jungle
it?
juice.
Jungle juice. Yeah, that's what I was going for. They've got their own little rage gallons.
Rage gallons. I like that acronym a lot. I think that's funny.
I feel like it's a very millennial thing.
What do you mean? That they're doing?
Like this acronym, what it stands for, I feel like it would have been a millennial thing.
See, I kind of feel like it came up so fast that it might not be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true. It feels like kind of a stunt a little bit.
Like,
a
okay, I
trend.
had that theory too. Because the TikTok that blew up was like this one party. And I was like, what if that was like the theme?
Sure.
Like
Bring your
they
own
it was this
gallon.
one fraternity or whatever, and their whole thing was gallon party, and everyone brings a gallon, and like some random party idea. But what I do like about it is they're elevating the drinking. I watched a girl make one. It's like a TikTok, and it was like, let me come make my BORG for today's party or whatever. And it's half a gallon of water, so cutting with hydration already. She put a third of a bottle of Tito's in it. The Milo like flavoring or Crystal Light.
Ew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
and then she put a liquid IV, and then capped it off with a Celsius.
I feel like
That's
this.
disgusting.
I feel like part of it is
Sounds
like
yummy.
kind of
It's kind of
contradicting
genius, but
itself,
also,
right?
Like, what is happening?
I feel like if there's that much water in it with the vodka,
But then
do you
there's
get-
so
do you get
much
drunk?
sugar. That's so much sugar.
Yeah, and that is a lot of alcohol too. If it's half,
Also, are you gonna
Vodka.
drink
That's
an
how much
entire
you drink anyway.
gallon?
sure.
When you go out, do you think you drink an entire
Oh
gallon?
no, it's for a
worth of
weekend
drink?
party. It's like a dager
I
kind of
don't-
thing. Day through the night. It's like a tailgate thing.
I
think that was-
so.
I think so.
It's
It's
like
like
a
a-
frat party.
I think, by
Yeah.
the way, if you had measured the amount of drinks you have in an evening with friends, I think you could easily reach a gallon.
I think I probably could drink
So-
easy half gallon of margaritas.
I think
Right?
I saw that same girl
Easy.
with that video, and she said, "Yeah, it's like a bottle of this certain bottle of Tito she had was 16 shots, and that's like okay, so maybe you drink." Either 8 doubles or like 16 drinks, right? Like
Yeah.
for a whole day of partying, like are you really gonna put away 16 drinks? Like, okay, yeah, that you kind of
Maybe.
level it out.
Maybe,
Am I gonna
right?
drink this whole thing? Am I only gonna drink half of it? But and she was harping on how it was like safer than like I guess conventional college partying where everybody's like, you don't know what's in the big community drink pool.
Yeah, and because it's individual, everyone writes their name on it, and there's a lid, like there's caps to these jugs. It's like harder to roofie. It's harder to like, slip something into it, and then also you're not
Sounds
like
great.
confusing it with other people's. Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, it's like safe. I'm like, wait, so you're hydrating and you're trying to be safe? Like, what has college
what are you-
come to?
Wait, you sent
Okay.
like a TikTok
They're
that was like
evolving.
breaking down like this therapist. She was like, Did you send to me? She's like, Gen Z's really figured it out. They're like
Oh, yeah.
hydrating, and then they're also protecting themselves.
Yes,
from
yes.
and all the things you said. It's funny.
So, do you think you're gonna drink 8 beers?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
If you're partying all day, if you're at okay, look,
I'm
if you're at
telling
a
you, it's
party,
not all day. This is a frat party, probably starting at 11 p.m., probably ending at like 3.
Again, it's a
Okay.
frat party, so I think yes, you're gonna drink 8 beers, 100%.
Yes, 100%.
If you're talking about a normal party, still yes. Like I still
Listen,
think.
listen. We're Borgin this summer. I hope you guys know.
You know what I was gonna say?
Lip sync battle. The new theme is
Today
Borg.
we should have got them.
I almost thought about it. I thought about
And
getting
we should
some
have done them
Borgin.
next week.
next week.
Okay, yeah.
But
Next week,
besides
next week.
Borgs, which that's its own realm, this next generation has come up with some great music. Transition to the Grammys.
nice. Hey, come on, bring that in
Guys,
right here.
I just want to say we're really burning through our topics.
Yeah,
today.
we
Yeah.
we are
really,
we're at
I mean,
25
but- yeah,
minutes,
well,
and we came in with a game plan, and
That's right.
We have a
Hey,
game plan?
we have a lot to talk about.
okay,
There's a
fair,
ton to
fair.
talk about.
yeah, the Grammys are.
Let's-
a lot happened last
A
night.
lot happened last night at the Grammys.
I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot about it on social
Yeah,
media.
you guys watched it, so I need you to tell us about it because I didn't watch it either.
Sure did.
It was fine. I mean, you guys know how I feel about award shows.
We all hate
some
them here.
some
Yeah.
things to mention, notable mentions. Queen Bee, Beyonce, last night got what was the number for her? Was it like
34, right?
32.
32nd Grammy? Now holds the most Grammys of all time. Grammy wins, that is.
We heard on the radio on the way here that Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z both had
The same amount. Up until last night.
Until last night when she beat him.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
And now she holds the record.
And I didn't realize
the two of them, they now have what?
The most Grammys.
62.
Definitely in any married couple.
And they
sure.
said she had like 99 noms.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she was pumping out music. She was
Something.
part of Destiny's Child, and then she went right into a solo career. It was very successful.
That seems like a lot, though. I feel like
That
that's
is a
kinda
lot.
crazy.
But she had, I mean, last night she literally had 9 nominations.
Yeah.
Like,
In every category.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you think about the amount of years too that
The Grammys have been
Beyonce
there.
like was winning probably
Yep.
4 or 5, a year. Like there was
Totally.
probably 10 years there
Absolutely.
where she was like racking them in. I mean, come on.
So she's officially the GOAT.
Yes.
According to the show last night.
But also, according to Beyonce, apparently her fans think she got snubbed for Album of the Year,
Who went to
Mr.
her
Harry
fans
Styles.
are
Harry
freaking. Her
Styles.
fans are freaking 38-year-old wannabes. Bye bye.
Dang.
Oh.
Sorry.
We'll get to that because our homegirl Taylor Swift also got snubbed last night. So
No, she didn't. She won one.
Okay, well,
Okay.
so did Beyonce.
No,
So we all won
Beyonce
one.
won 3.
We all got one, okay?
Beyonce got 3.
Everybody gets a participation trophy. Yep,
Beyonce
we're all
got
special in our
3
own
last
way.
night.
Harry swept last night. Well, I don't know if you
No,
could
he
say
didn't.
swept, but
He got
he
2.
definitely was well deserved. Best album of the year for Harry's House. Guys, I just want to say we did predict that this album was going places when it came out, and
true.
went right to the top. So pretty excellent.
Yeah,
on our part.
I mean, great job, guys. First of all, great job.
Yep.
I think we should all give ourselves a round of applause.
Everybody-
Does that feel weird?
Let's do it.
does.
Let's do it. Wow.
Way to go, team.
We are
Way to
so
go,
brave.
team.
We are brave.
Wow.
Yep.
But so Harry
Stupid
won.
bit.
Let's
Stupid
see.
bit.
What else happened?
I mean,
what else
I
happened
think
last
Well,
night?
no, but the whole thing, Harry won. Okay, wait, what's the thing he said? Because everyone's like, he
in
shouldn't have
his-
said that.
In his acceptance speech, and it caught me funny too. He said, "People like me don't usually get opportunities like this," or something like that.
Yeah.
And we went British.
People that look like me, or people like me. What did he?
I don't know,
Can,
maybe
can you
like
fact
people
check
Maybe it's
that?
people
Sarah?
like me.
me.
Is what I keep seeing.
I don't know.
And
Which
I
I thought
just
was
caught me
weird.
funny. Like, attractive white British men don't usually like get this kind of success.
Well, I know he's been successful for a long time, but he also, I don't think he grew up with money.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
You
I
know,
mean,
so maybe it's more like a.
I think it's more of like he auditioned for something, he got in a fun boy band, it broke up, and normally that's where it goes. Your solo career normally doesn't happen. It's
true.
And he
Yeah.
just blew up. But I was scrolling on Instagram
go ahead.
Talk
and
in
it
your
came
mic,
up
please.
in my suggested.
Perfect.
Liam Payne, who is also in One Direction, posted a photo of Harry looking at his Grammy.
Oh, okay.
Going, wow, this image is really something to wake up to. And when you write music like you do, Harry, you deserve every millisecond of that moment looking down, smiling at the trophy you've earned. God bless you, brother. Congrats.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously well
He's,
deserved.
he's on.
Oh, there.
No, back up.
Okay.
Liam Payne is on a recovery road. He's trying to recover his image after
Really?
He dragged him, huh?
He dragged
Yeah. And was
all
like,
of One
I
Direction.
was-
He was like, One Direction was for me. Simon found me and found people that would be my backup singers
Yeah,
and be.
that's
It's like
crazy.
it was me. It was all for me.
Like, how's
Me,
that
me,
helping
me,
now,
me,
I mean,
bro?
that's what happens when you're like the B side of that band, right? I mean, you're, like,
And then
you
everyone's
think
Absolutely.
the
like,
world revolves
you're
around
trash.
him, right?
You're
I want to
nothing but a
say
trash
that
bag.
I sent you guys an article about this whole Harry Beyonce dilemma about Beyonce's fans are freaking out and saying that he should have yielded the award to Beyonce or whatever.
Okay.
And I just want to say that Harry's album was freaking
Amazing.
global. I mean,
Yeah.
like you talk about an album
yeah.
that took the charts by storm.
Yep.
And I agree. Beyonce had a few hits on that album she released this year.
Like
And I
one or
think
two.
there was like some really good TikTok sounds that came out of it. I think that she deserves recognition, but no way, far and away, Harry's
Far and
album
away.
should have won.
So
Oh, yeah.
That's my piece.
there's this article that because you know
piece, Ken.
after you win a Grammy, you go back to the press and they like ask you questions really
Yeah.
quick, all this stuff.
Sure.
The press asked him whether he thought Beyonce should have won. His answer, you never know with
losers.
this stuff. I don't think you can look at any of the nominees and not feel like they're deserving. I feel like when I look at this category, it's all people who have inspired me at different times. It's not like you'd understand anyone winning. And yeah, I'm really grateful they chose us. Thank you. What do you say to that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, that's a
didn't you
stupid
think that
press question
Beyonce should have
anyways.
won and your giant album this year
yes,
was sold out all
definitely.
your
The
concerts?
press is kind of
Yeah.
like that these
Like,
days.
They're kind of
They always-
sharks.
they're asking. Sometimes they ask questions. I'm like, what were you expecting out of that?
Right.
Well, that's what they want, a Britney moment. They want the smashing of the Grammy and the camera.
Right.
They want
Yes.
the
Yeah.
umbrella
I want
to
it
the
too, though.
car.
Now, I'll
They
tell you
want the
this.
Britney.
Another potential upset was last night. Song of the Year was won by
Yes.
Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt.
If you
Mm-hmm.
could believe it. Classic kind of 70s, 80s through the 90s, like bluesy,
Yeah, I saw a
Americana
little video.
star.
Bonnie Raitt is You're So Vain, right?
You're
so vain.
No, I don't think so.
Was she?
No, I
Let's
think
see what
that's
Bonnie
someone
Raitt
else.
Is it?
I think so.
She's just old, like kind of
Good
country.
for her.
Bonnie
Let's be
Raitt.
honest, she's got one left probably.
She beat out Lizzo. She beat out
Yeah, she
Beyonce.
beat out
she beat out Taylor Swift.
all these people.
There were like
Harry
so
Styles,
many
Adele.
that everyone, and she even said too. She's like, I'm shocked that I even was nominated.
Right.
Here I am. Like,
the video of her getting the name after she got announced. She was like,
Yeah, she was in
she
shock.
is
I saw that
like
one.
visibly shocked, which is so good. What was the song?
it was a song called "Just Like That."
I heard Taylor
Let's
Swift got a
hear.
little
Can we
too
hear a
turned.
sample? Because
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
know.
give you
I
a
don't
little.
even know what that means.
Yeah,
It-
give us a
and-
little tiny sample.
And nobody
Just
truly,
like what, Bonnie?
I think honestly, this was a big what do you call it? A publicity stunt to get the song. I think
Oh my gosh, she paid it off to get her song recognized. Wait, is there podcast of the year? We could do that.
Okay, all right, maybe not.
let's see if this was Song of the Year worthy.
Immediately no.
Demonetized copyright.
I've never heard the song.
I'm good.
It's very Carole
I think,
Kingy.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes what they do with things like this is they give it as like a lifetime achievement award. You know, like
Song of the year? They didn't do that with Song of the year?
well, really Song of the Year. Like who cares? It's not Album of the Year.
True.
It's like
I guess right.
I
Album
think
of the year
it's
is the big one, right?
Yep,
and
that
so
was
they give
Harry's.
somebody like her, you know, like okay, here's this award. Like thank you for your service in
Stop
music.
make, is
Yeah.
it like a stop
you for
making
your-
music? Like
Yes,
a
like,
participation?
you're done now.
You've
You're
done it
Like,
now?
thank you. You've
Stop.
made it stop.
I'll tell you what, the Oscars are coming up, and Steven Spielberg is nominated for The Fabelmans, and it's this movie about his life and like,
Yes.
you know, it's his come up and his career of like filmmaking and everything. I have
Sweet.
a hunch that it's gonna win Best Picture as a, you know, lifetime
Lifetime.
achievement. Steven Spielberg win.
Could be.
You should bet money on it.
Oh, $50,000.
$1,000. I bet there's whole betting rings on that.
Oh, there
crap.
definitely is. There's like full spreads, and that's what's so funny about all these award shows.
John,
is,
get
like,
Jake's friend on here. Come on.
Whoa.
We're gonna bet on the Oscars.
I wonder what the odds were when Will Smith went up and
Slap.
like
You know
that
what?
wasn't on my
I
bingo
know,
card.
I know someone who made like at least $10 off of that.
At least $10. He bets every year.
That's every year that a celebrity's gonna slap a different celebrity for making a joke that they didn't like.
Isn't
Well,
he banned now?
Yes,
Will
from
Smith,
award
for
shows.
10 years or something.
Nice.
Another celebrity that was really in the limelight, like they kept going to them during the Grammys, was Adele.
Adele.
She was like,
Did she
at
perform last year?
first-
Or today?
She-
this year?
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
she did.
She didn't perform.
Oh,
Did she? No, she didn't perform.
Didn't she?
No.
I
She
swear
performed
I
last
thought
year,
she
right?
does every year. It just feels
Um,
so
well,
Well, that's
good.
the thing. I saw a whole
Right.
medley that
Trevor
was like she's
Noah-
been performing constantly.
Trevor Noah was the MC
Host.
Yes.
host, and he'd make like random jokes to other people, and in the background you'd see Adele be like just funny faces. But she like when who was it? I think it was when Lizzo won. She was like super excited for her when Harry won.
What?
Number one, Taylor Swift was the only one who stood, and
I heard
Adele
about
got
this.
up and left.
Oh, why? What's her problem?
She lost. She was supposed to. She was one of the nominees, right?
wow.
She literally got up, and they showed it on TV because she gets up and she walks right in front of Lizzo and leaves, and Lizzo like laughs awkwardly.
That's so lame.
I wonder.
So
Okay, but
lame.
here's
I
my
wanna
thing.
root
Here's my
for
thing.
her,
I
but-
wonder if there's a different side to him that all the celebrities in that biz know, and they all know that it sucks to work with Harry Styles or something. And
mean,
maybe
does it
maybe
matter,
he's
though?
a
He makes
jerk.
Why would, why would
Maybe he
Adele?
is.
Has Adele ever like
No,
teamed
She's
up
British.
with him?
it's because he's new, and Adele thinks that after 5 years of not having music, and then she comes out with such a great album because it's so
No.
sad, and she went through a
No.
divorce, and blah blah that she should have deserved it.
She won.
Would you
though.
even if you thought?
Oh my gosh, I thought you were saying she deserved the divorce.
I'm like, wow, that's heavy.
It's like, that is so
deserved
intense,
it.
Cara.
The
deserved
Grammy.
Did she like really? And even if you thought, okay, I'm a shoo-in, I didn't get this award, but I mean, she did. She won a Grammy. She won like
Yeah.
best performance by a somebody singer or
She
something.
did, and
British
Dwayne The Rock
person.
They were
Johnson
easy on me. Yes.
announced it and said, "My best friend." She was like,
And
she's
you
never met
really,
him.
you feel you're so snubbed that you're now going to walk
Yes.
out.
I'm
Grammys
sorry.
feel
So
like
dramatic.
Name one more song off of her album.
I can't.
I don't even know what her album's called.
Sure, but I feel like the Grammys,
20.
the whole
I didn't
theme
even-
of the
30.
Grammys is that,
30.
right? I mean, like all these artists make millions off their music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? You get one of the little
Trophy things.
trophies, and
Yeah.
then-
Yeah.
like I guess to some degree, and we talk about it every year. I
Yeah.
know, but like I guess to some degree, it is validating, but also like, you know, your fans should be your focus as an artist.
Wouldn't you just show
You
up
know?
like from a place of gratitude and whatever happens, happens? I mean, maybe if you've been in the industry for as long as Adele has and you're like, yep, this is my year, this is my moment. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, Harry is taking the world by storm and he's the it guy and, you know, right up there with Taylor Swift on like hard to get concert tickets. And it's like,
Like, sorry.
shoot, like I thought like 30 was my magnum opus. Like this would be my big, and no, and you didn't
Yeah.
get it. I don't know.
Maybe, guys, benefit of the freaking doubt. Maybe
Go ahead.
there is a
Good, I love where this is
huge
going.
betting ring that all of the
I knew it.
celebrities are
Okay.
in on.
And she
And they've
lost
all,
100
and that
grand.
Harry Styles rigged it this year to
Okay.
have himself win.
Okay.
He bet, everyone saw that Harry put $3 million on himself. And they were like, Harry, that goes against the one freaking rule of the betting ring. You can't bet on yourself. And then he won, and everyone was pissed because he broke the rules and he got the Grammy and he
But
got
not
the
Taylor
billions of
Swift
dollars.
because Taylor was in on it.
But Taylor fucking
Taylor
helped him.
Taylor bet on him?
Taylor bet on him. Also, Taylor and him are now splitting $10 billion.
Let's run another scenario.
Go ahead.
Is
Please do.
bunch of free alcohol at this thing.
And she
Yeah.
had to
Adele
pee.
and Lizzo are sitting up front. They're shooting, you know,
Oh my gosh,
Grey
Lizzo
Goose back
in
all
a
night.
live shot. Lizzo, it's when Trevor Noah is like, I think he's talking to Taylor Swift. Lizzo's like next to her and takes out her flask and just drinks out of her
Guaranteed.
flask.
You think Adele wasn't hitting that
So
that
funny.
sauce during the night?
Oh,
and
probably.
then, you know, the emotions are high and you're drunk and you're like, I should have won that award. And
I'm
you storm out.
leaving.
'cause you're
Wait.
Adele.
Well, she just like had to pee, guys. Like, what if she just had to go? Like,
Because
she was
it
like,
was the last award.
gotta
Right
go.
then? Right
was
then
it
and
the
there?
last award? Oh, she's trying to beat the traffic, y'all.
Yeah,
she's
that's
trying
what it
to.
was,
She said,
traffic.
"Oh,
LA
Harry
traffic.
won."
I mean, who likes LA traffic? Nobody.
Nobody.
have a
She's trying to
driver.
beat
She's not
the
driving.
freaking.
Right,
she
yeah,
doesn't
so I'm
wanna
going back
sit
to
in it.
London now. So here we go.
She got off my
Was
plane. I don't want to
LAX.
hit the traffic.
Heathrow's. Let's go.
They
Roll
did
back to it.
The best part I think about last night, they did a tribute to the last like 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And it was like a 12-minute medley of all these hip hop legends came out. It was so
Yeah, it was pretty
good.
cool.
Really?
Can you
Yeah.
believe it? Hip hop, they're saying, started in 1973.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Little Run DMC.
Ew, huh?
Nice.
Little,
Well,
little
they,
this,
they
little
did.
that.
As they've been
Well,
tracking
they
it.
knew. Yeah,
They
had
knew.
a whole show for it last night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, who knew it was such a big deal that, like, you
Hip-hop.
celebrate a genre like that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I
It was
talking about.
awesome.
Absolutely.
All these people came out.
How
and
long has
all
R&B
this-
been around, I wonder?
Forever.
When's their birthday?
10 years later, probably.
When's their birthday?
Like, when are we gonna like celebrate R&B? You know what I'm saying?
When's their birthday?
Dang. True that.
Right?
Hey, I'm with you.
Doesn't it feel weird to celebrate like a genre of music?
Yeah.
Well-
yeah.
Well, I think it's more of like when it became like heavily known throughout all of the world.
Kinda
Like
like-
these creators have been
would you
grinding
even
at
say
it.
like all genres matter, John?
Okay.
No, I did a music theory class once.
She's going right into it. I knew it.
Stop,
I knew
stop.
it.
I'm
Can we just acknowledge?
segmenting.
Got him.
Got him.
Yeah,
got
thank
him.
you. Got him.
Thank
I
you.
did this music theory class, and in like the 60s, there was this genre of music where it was like the anti-melody.
Okay.
And the whole point of it was all the sounds don't go together.
Jazz.
Oh yeah, like a noise
no,
record.
it was, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It was just like noise.
Awesome.
And it was this like the like equivalent of like, you know, like unconventional modern music.
Yeah.
And we would have to listen to these pieces in class for tests. And he would play us these portions, and
I'd
we'd
like
have
to
to know
die.
the composer and like the artist and all the stuff in the year. And I just remember sitting there going, someone recorded it in a recording studio and hit like pause and was like, damn, this is it.
Post it.
This is it.
Still alive and well. Check out some. We'll listen to some Death Grips after this.
No,
Pretty
Annie
good.
won't. Annie won't.
Noise rock.
No,
yeah,
Annie's
no,
busy after
no,
this.
you will.
The
In my
winner
car.
of Best New Artist, it was so funny because we were all watching it, and Grandpa John was like, "What about like jazz?" Because during the Grammys, during
No,
commercials,
yeah, what was her
they
name?
play so many. I have it.
Oh, you've got it.
Yes. They have so many awards that they show that aren't
Scott's got it.
televised. So like the one that Taylor Swift won, not televised. All the jazz categories, not televised.
Yeah.
The blues, all this stuff. So Grandpa John is like, where's all the jazz? And we try and explain like, oh, they don't show it, all this stuff. And he
everyone.
was like, where's Samara Joy? Where is she? She's amazing. Blah blah blah. And then Best New Artist comes up, and Samara Joy is nominated, and she wins. And we all look at Grandpa John.
It was so funny
and
because
he
we're like, oh,
is
it's going to be
jumping up and
Omar
down.
Apollo. Oh, it's going to be this artist. And then, yeah, it's like Samara Joy,
And
Best
he
New
was
Artist.
like-
And he's like, yes.
It was so.
We were like, what
We were
just
like,
happened?
how did you know?
Sometimes Grandpa John's got it. That's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
Grandpa
wouldn't- I would
John.
never go
I'm
against him.
just saying, guys, we cannot write this off.
No.
He has got friends in high places.
Yes, he
and
does.
He is part of that betting
we
ring.
should ask him who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Betting ring.
No,
You
it
think he
only
knows?
pertains
Oh, it's just
to
music?
the music.
It's just music.
It's a
Okay.
whole different
Okay.
betting
Just the
ring.
Right.
music. Come on.
Right.
It's not a betting Venn
You know what?
diagram. They do not mix.
right.
It's rings.
You are right.
They're
You
two
are
separate
right.
rings. They're
Yeah.
not
Separate.
intersecting at all.
No. It's like two
That's
rings.
part of the rings. It's like Fight
Okay.
Club. Like
Okay.
you, once you're in it, you can't go to different fight clubs on different nights. It has to be
Okay.
this night.
You wouldn't do
Okay.
it. You
It's
wouldn't
not.
do it.
It's not like your theater careers. You can't be doing, both a production of Annie and a production of West Side Story.
No,
they're
you
both
wouldn't
too
do it.
too
You wouldn't do
important.
it.
You just
Sure.
couldn't-
Priorities.
You just really
Dang.
couldn't.
Dang.
You really couldn't.
The more history was made last night with
Good reference to a conversation we had earlier, Andy.
the singer. Her name is escaping me. Who sings
Taylor
Unholy
Swift.
with Sam Smith? What's her name? I literally remember her name earlier. She was the first transgender woman to get a Grammy last
Oh,
night.
yeah.
What is
Yes.
what's
Oh,
her
the-
She's from Orange is the
name?
New Black, isn't she? No, never mind. I think it's somebody else.
I think of Laverne Cox.
Yeah, I don't know.
The-
I saw she was there, so I didn't
Laverne
know if
Cox
she,
was
if
there.
She was there.
No, what is her name? Yeah, I don't know. She sings Unholy with Sam Smith, and she
The
won.
conservative
So that was a big
Christians
thing.
were all over that one last night.
I
because
saw. I did
Oh,
see.
yeah.
I have something to
I did
touch
see
on
an
about
article.
conservative Christians. Keep going.
Sam Smith had a whole performance, and yeah, the song's called "Unholy," and it's the aesthetic was
It was bound.
Satan,
Bound to be
obviously.
ridiculed.
And I literally
It
was
was
like,
Satan,
okay,
it was
check
BDSM.
Twitter. Sam Smith Antichrist is probably trending right now. So.
Yeah.
That's because Ryan created it.
Because I just tweeted
Right.
it out.
Right.
Sam
Yes.
Smith Antichrist question mark?
Yeah.
Hashtag Sam Smith Antichrist.
But the most awkward thing was before the performance, Madonna comes out.
Oh,
and Madonna's
yikes.
wearing like a tight fitted suit, like with a big slit with a whip. And Madonna's known for
Whips
her,
and chains, yeah.
Crazy
yeah,
stuff.
for her. What was her big thing?
Being
Like
crazy.
a prayer.
Like a Prayer. The music video for Like a Prayer was like her big like
Same thing. Antichrist.
devil Antichrist.
Yeah.
She comes out and she has like little like German braids, and she kind of looked like the Trunch Bowl. It was very weird.
Yes, she did.
But she starts it being like, it was just a very awkward intro where it's
Heard
like,
she didn't look like herself
I'm
either.
kind. No, she didn't. Plastic surgery like crazy. It was more like you have to like go out there and be different, and then she like lifts up her slit, and it's like me.
It was like
it was weird.
She was like pumping up Sam Smith for like the same thing.
But for
yeah.
herself.
But she
She's,
was
like, kept
well, she's
bringing it
going
back
on
to
tour.
herself.
She's about to go on like a world tour for the first time in like 20
and
years.
and
or
it's
something.
like her everything. It's like her whole discography, right?
Well,
Yes,
it
exactly.
Explains the plastic surgery
Exactly.
too. Honestly,
Yeah.
Does it? No.
I don't know if it does, but just kind of rough stuff. What you
Going
got
back
over
on
there?
conservative Christianity. So the World Surf League, the WSL, has now officially allowing transgender men and women to compete in their identified categories.
like the
Okay.
Olympics.
Oh,
So
okay.
their whole thing is that we're going by Olympic rules also. Bethany Hamilton is
Oh,
a
no.
very she's like she's a Christian author, Christian advocate. Wow.
Advocate.
Yep.
Try it again.
Got you, girl.
Nope.
One more time.
We can
Nope.
cut it out.
From the top.
You need a Borg.
Bethany Hamilton is an advocate.
Hey, I knew you had it in you.
A Christian advocate. And the whole thing is she did this video like the moment it came out, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 80% and I just couldn't, because she did a good job of not just outright kind of saying that she was against it, but she just like kept on kind of skirting around it. And she was like, do we agree? And do, that the biological differences and all, and she like was trying not to like make anyone mad, but almost in an infuriating way.
I saw the headline of like, oh, WSL announces blah, blah, blah. Immediately on Instagram, hers was the first story. Like,
it was like literally like wherever she was, she automatically just recorded it, which I get that it impacts her greatly as someone who's on. Well, I mean, yeah, because you're only like only so many people get on tour with in the competition. There's only like I think there's only like 12 or 13 people on tour at a time in each category. So it's the kind of thing where it's like I get that it greatly impacts.
She's not getting
her
bumped, though.
But yeah, but it's the thing. It's like, hey, girl, like it's almost the kind of same thing I feel like with the Grammys. It's like, oh, are you really mad that you didn't win your 18th Grammy? Mm-hmm. Like, sorry, like move over. There's room in the lineup for other people. Like, chill out. Like the Eddie, which I can't believe we did not cover, this huge surf comp that happened in Oahu, North Shore of Oahu.
Yep.
And they just
Pipeline.
It's not it's at it is on Pipeline.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jaws in my mind. I was like, it's not
Did
Jaws.
you notice the subtle
Not
Hawaiian
Jaws.
gatekeep right there?
No, it is
Very
Pipeline.
gatekeep.
Whatever.
Actually, it's not Pipeline.
But you have to
weeks ago.
you have to
Gatekeep
wait
boy.
for you have to like they have like it only happens nine. It's only happened 9 times because they wait for these exact conditions at Pipeline, and a lifeguard that was just off duty on his break who paddled out ended up winning the Eddie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, a lifeguard who was on break. He was literally on duty guarding the beach. On his break, paddles
Wow.
out, wins the Eddie. And I'm like, that is exactly what the whole
Some
sport
Mr.
of
Bean
surfing
shit
was.
going on right there. He's like, oh,
And literally-
I'm in the race.
Literally,
Oh,
in him when he's winning, he's in his lifeguard uniform, the like yellow shirt and the red shorts. Like it's
That's
insane.
That is terrible. Those we went.
Oh yeah,
when,
they're like 40-foot waves. They're crazy.
We went when the
Massive.
Eddie was going to happen on our honeymoon. We went and it ended up like they had the opening ceremonies, all this stuff ended up getting like postponed.
Canceled.
People
It's like
still
the
went
most,
out, but it's
like
giant
Hawaiian
waves.
sport ever because you like it's just like a general time. Like, okay, this is gonna be when the Eddie's happening.
Yeah.
And then every day it's like, are we
Postponed.
surfing today? No.
No,
Maybe
weather's not
tomorrow.
good.
Are we surfing today?
Nope.
Nah. Maybe this weekend. Like
That's
it's
how-
the most Hawaiian thing ever.
That's how Jaws. I went and watched Jaws when they had the like Jaws competition, whatever it is.
Sure.
And it was the same thing. It was like everyone woke up one day and they're like, Jaws is happening. Jaws is happening. Everyone get to
Oh my
Jaws.
gosh.
And it was like, what, like this huge ordeal. And everyone
Yep.
just like the whole island like shut down to be like, well, we're all hiking down to Jaws to watch the competition.
I think right now is like the Billabong.
Yeah,
Is the
there's-
Billabong open, and it literally every day it was like, nope, not on today. Try to nope, not. It's on.
Yeah, but it's just like crazy, like this whole thing. And I get where she's coming from to a degree, but I also am like it is the World Surf League. Like they're just following the Olympic standards.
Yeah.
Here's my thought on that. Going back to the trans athletes thing.
Interesting.
I feel like, and this is obviously something that happens a lot, is that the news take on it and reality are fairly separated. Because it's not like there's like, straight men that are putting on wigs and like running to the Olympics to like beat all of the women in competition. That's not happening. Like the number of trans athletes is like 0.01% of like all the athletes that make up the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so to build this like kind of fake problem that's happening in order to, drive
distracting
rhetoric
us.
that are like, oh, trans people are taking, it's kind of the same thing of like the immigrants thing. Like, oh, like, we're in San Diego, obviously, and it's always this thing of like, oh, like the Mexican people are going to come to this country and take all of our jobs away and we're all going to be homeless. And like, it's the same, like, it's a non-problem. You know what I
Well,
mean? Go ahead.
And the whole thing with the the thing that's so funny about like that whole argument of like, you know, these immigrants are going to come and take our jobs. They're doing jobs and they're willing to do the jobs that you're not willing
You don't
to
wanna
do.
do.
Straight up.
Like straight up, like it's like, okay, well, then you do the job. And they're like, oh no, that's, I have a high school degree and a four-year college education. I'm not doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
well then shut up.
It feels like such a straw man like argument. Like there's no like super athlete trans person right now that's like come in and dominated sports. Like that's just not a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you think?
I think
All the waves are the same.
I liked your whole thing where you were like, you know, it's a non-problem and we're sticking to it, and like they're making a big deal of it. Maybe, now hear me out.
Okay.
Maybe it's a distraction. Like
It
the
always
spy
is.
balloon.
It always
like
is.
everything. It's a
Whoa.
distraction from the betting ring.
Yes.
Of the,
All
Okay.
right.
Yes.
You know what?
Okay.
This is getting out of
I
hand.
was right there with you.
Yes.
This is
We were
really
all
bad.
rooting for you.
It was.
John,
I'm just saying.
I'm ready for
there's
your take.
Big money up in here.
Etched in
good.
stone, John, your opinion, and you have to stick by it.
By-
Of course.
on
That's how
the-
podcasts
I
work.
mean,
Yep.
we've talked about it on this show before. I think there really is kind of two schools of thought when it comes to this topic, and it's like competition purists and inclusion, people that are emphasize inclusion, you know, and it's all about like what is important to you. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying? Like if you're the person that's like, I want to work my whole life. I mean, because let's be honest, like the science, like if you break down the science, which again, I'm going to sound like a crazy conservative and I'm not, like scientifically, men are just like stronger than women in ways that like, and everyone's different, sure, right? To some
Sure.
degree, you know? And so science would support that. Sure, 9 times out of 10, a man can beat a woman at swimming a certain distance, you know,
Sure.
of same athletic build, right? So that's where the breakdown happens is like, are you worried about being the best and having the competition be the fairest it can be? Or are you worried about inclusion, you know? And that's where society and it kind of splits, right? That's where it splits. So I think, you know, to some degree, inclusion is obviously important. And I think inclusion is worth more to me specifically than it is for me to see like the most perfect conditions of a competition, right?
Right.
Like it wouldn't bother me, you know, if the Super Bowl was like an all-girl team versus an all-guy team or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'd
Like, that
pay
doesn't-
money to see that.
That doesn't
Same.
bother me, you know. But for some people, you know, they would say, well, obviously the boys have an advantage.
Well,
you
and I think
know?
that's kind of the crazy cherry on top of this whole thing is they're running the numbers. There's like an Olympic trans tennis player or something, and they're not doing better. Like they're like the numbers aren't there for like
sure. There are sports.
I might be
There are sports like swimming that where
fubbling this up a little bit.
a trans woman has come in, you know, some of these Olympic swimming sports
Yeah,
and has
they're-
completely wiped the records out. I mean, and so
Yes,
there
the
are
swimming.
sports.
It was the
there are
swimming one.
sports where that's happening, and again, like science would say, upper body. You know, like men, it's easier for them to gain muscle.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? That's,
And I feel like there was a similar argument when the Blade Runner happened, where he was an amputee who had, you know, these blade legs. And let's just be real. Didn't matter anyway, because that Blade Runner guy ended up killing his girlfriend, now in prison.
No
so like,
way.
you know, like it's a non-sorry. It had nothing to do with his athletic ability. He himself ended up being a weirdo. But it's that kind of thing where it's like, let's not. Why are we giving these people so much attention? They're just people. Let them compete. Let them do what they want. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't it more interesting?
yeah, like,
If-
oh my gosh, great. Let's see. I think I'm with John in that whole sense of like, I would rather have the inclusion than like the perfect, you know.
but
Same.
also
Because
like,
here's-
there are people that train their whole life.
In
so I
that
get
same
it,
in
you
that
know?
same argument, do you guys remember when Michael Phelps was supposed to race a shark?
No.
He was
Yeah,
supposed to
for
race
Shark
a
Week.
shark.
It was Shark Week, and
Yep.
they're like, fastest swimmer in the world is gonna race the shark. Shark.
What?
And they literally they're pumping this all
couldn't
Shark
get the
Week.
Sharks agent to work with them.
How did I
believe it or
miss
not.
this? I love Shark Week.
Right? All week, all month, everything. Shark Week. Michael
They
Phelps
hit it.
races a shark. Let me freaking tell you. They tried to make it fair, and it was he raced the equivalent time it would take a shark. and they made like a little like CGI shark. Like he did not race a shark.
He didn't race a shark.
No,
That's
no way.
stupid.
No way.
How would he have possibly raced the shark? Sharks are like, they swim like 60 miles per hour or something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a bold
That's what I
statement.
wanted to see. I didn't.
I'm sticking
I wanted
with
to
it.
That's
see-
the most,
I wanted
that's
to
the most
see.
controversial thing you've said.
I wanted to see. I wanted to
How
see
fast?
Michael Phelps
Great
in a pool
white
with a giant
swim.
like glass
Right,
wall.
right.
Freaking
And the shark's
swimming his
mad
life out.
dogging him, and
And the
he's sitting
shark,
there
and the
dogging the
shark
shark. Yeah.
obviously goes faster, or the shark is like, "What am I supposed to do?" And just like slowly swims, and it's like Michael Phelps beats the shark.
I may have
Go ahead.
fudged the numbers.
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
know
there.
you did. I knew it.
35 miles per hour, which is still fast. How you think? How fast do you think Michael Phelps
I don't
swims?
know. Ask. Look it up. How fast does
Michael
Michael Phelps swim?
We can find out
Phelps.
right now. It's just a stat
Swim
thing. That's all it is.
speed.
We don't
Yeah,
even
I mean,
see
it's
it.
just the numbers.
Right.
20.
oh, see,
Pretty close. I mean,
I'm gonna say he's not
No,
fast.
no, 20. Is that? Oh, were you
that was
guessing?
yeah.
12.
Oh, you were guessing. I thought you were saying it's for real.
He broke the world record of the 100-meter butterfly race.
Oh,
He
well, that's a
registered-
butterfly.
Oh.
That's
You need
that's
to
a
go
lot.
freestyle.
He did the butterfly 5.5 miles an hour,
Oh, that's
Freestyle.
insane.
and that's world record.
Go to freestyle.
Have you ever swum the butterfly?
Freestyle.
That's like sucks.
It's rough.
Nice. Good visual. Good
42. Okay, I need speed. I don't need times. How fast is the average swimmer? 2 miles an hour.
So I
You know
think
what?
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
So
matter.
average swimmer times that, we'll just say by 10, 20. Great. Phelps.
You know what? That's what you could always
would
expect
say-
out of what the
It's
podcast
really
is.
accurate numbers.
None of the numbers matter.
I
but
would say
the
that he's
heart
probably
is
10
there.
times better
The
than
heart
the
is
average
always in
swimmer.
it.
He's the world record holder.
So I mean, that's kind of my thought on the whole thing. Is you really have to decide what's important to you. I know I have people in my life who are like enraged by this, and
Yeah.
like they're like, you know, we're losing the heart of what's really sports and competition is at. And then I have other people that are like, yeah, I think it's cool that I think it's more important for somebody who is transitioning and wants to be a part of something, you know, that in the gender that they've felt like they've been their whole lives, to like, you know, that's a part of it too. And so there isn't a right answer in my opinion. I think the conversation splits at that T where you go, okay, well, what do you really care about? Do you care about being the best in the fairest conditions, or do you care about, you know, the sport? Do you love the sport? Do you love the inclusion? Do you want people to be a part of it? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the other piece too, is like you're just excluding certain people from being able to play the game.
I feel like we're putting the conversation before the horse a little bit here. Like, I feel like we jumped into this rhetoric so quickly in that it's just not like, it's not such a rampant problem. You know what I mean? Like there are instances of it, but I feel like it's a theoretical problem right now. I think, you know, men aren't like storming the beaches with
here's what
women's
I'll say.
wigs on. And
I think humans are naturally assume the worst of other humans.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you see good, well-intended people doing it, and there are small cases, like I said, in swimming where I can't remember her name. I think her name is Leah. And she's a trans woman, and she came and she like broke all these records. And again, I think people then go, okay, well, sure, Leah is doing it out of like she loves the
Earnest.
sport, and
Yeah.
she feels 100% she is a woman, and you know, and so all that.
Yeah.
And that, but I think people go, well, then guys, they think, oh, you know, B-side guys in the sport are gonna go, I'm just going to
I can win
legally
easier.
transition my gender. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna change the gender on my driver's license and say, hey, I'm a woman now. You
So
know what
I
I'm
can win
saying?
a gold medal easier.
I
Right?
think if anyone is going to that level of like
Stupid.
that extent of pettiness, like, yeah, maybe you should, live the rest of your life as a fake
Sure.
transgender person to win sports. Like, if you want to do that
What a
in your
life.
life, like, whatever, like,
What a
that's
life.
fine. I just feel like it's a conversation, and this is the last thing I'll say about it. I just feel like the conversation is rooted in prejudice. Like, that's just where I can't really
Yeah.
get away from, is like,
Well, and that's a lot
going
of,
like, no, you can't do that, like, because it's like they're already in a losing uphill battle, you know what I mean, like transgender people at large, and for us to be like, no, you can't even like play a sport, like,
yeah, and that's like
don't
I
know.
said, I totally get, and that's why my opinion is the way that it is
Sure.
because I don't have the heart for like, I don't have the intensity about sports
Right.
like some people do. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, and again, there's nothing in my life that I'm passionate about that you couldn't mix.
That is
between the
segregated
two.
by gender.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And sports is one of the things that I don't really mentally understand. Like, I don't really care about it, and it doesn't register to me as something that I love.
Yeah.
Also,
And that's
with
something
this-
that scientifically it's just so different.
With this
And so-
non-problem, you're not seeing trans men.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm
it's-
sure
it's-
there are so many trans
saying-
men who have been competing and they're not getting news coverage because who cares? They're trans men. They're not going to be as strong.
They're not. I mean, you're right. Women that transition to become men and want to go.
They think they're just
Well, who cares? They're going to lose,
still
Yeah.
weaker.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
which is
touchy
true.
subject. I mean, I see both. I see the merit on both sides. I side with the side of inclusion. I mean, that's
Here,
I
here.
always will. You know,
Yep.
but
I'm with that.
I don't know.
I also think too, I'm like, I'm not a professional athlete and I don't care. Do
yeah,
whatever.
but imagine
Yep.
like you can imagine if you were, you know,
Yeah.
how you could maybe
Listen,
have that.
I
that side
can't
of
imagine
you,
if
or-
I ever was. So
And okay, I'm gonna risk sounding really like
ignorant,
ignorant,
dumb.
tone deaf, like maybe
Stupid.
wrong. I feel like
Ugly,
Bethany
gross.
Hamilton should be somebody like that is preaching inclusion. In,
Yeah.
in sports,
Sure.
like she
But
against
this is
odds.
going. I
face
think
adversity.
this
Surfing-
is going more.
I think this is going to
religion-wise.
religion. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
Conservative
unfortunate thing that there's a disconnect. It's like
Yeah.
you don't understand the fact that like you have like something physically different about you that makes it harder to excel. We're talking about Bethany
Well,
Hamilton,
yeah.
right?
And my thing with her too is like she has done amazing things and she's excelled
against
these
all
odds.
odds.
And
Amazing.
I know a lot of people who I've like been able to meet and like, you know, become friends with a lot of people in the adaptive surfing world who have equal, if not, you know, like I don't want to say less
Greater,
than, but
lesser
like,
disability.
yeah, lesser or greater disability to her where she has lost her arm, and they're all in these adaptive surf competitions. She's like paved great waves for it, but I'm also like, well, why don't we like at some
We'll allow
degree?
it.
What?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Paved.
You said paid great waves, which I love because she's a surfer. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry,
that's funny.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
But like, I look at this and I'm like, okay, well then like, why are we having necessarily like, ooh, like at what point does this person qualify for the adaptive category
Yeah.
while you are still in the main? Like, granted, she is an insane surfer. Like, she has worked
Absolutely.
her butt off to get on those big
Good
waves.
sensor.
And
Nice.
but like the thing is too, I'm kind of like, okay, well, like, yeah, why are we still kind of like segmenting these
Like
up?
you can surf in the like normal surf competition.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Then why are these people automatically put into this section? You know, like,
I you know.
yeah, I think it's
That's where I'm
an
at.
interesting conversation. I think it's something that like, let's be real, like they're not going to change the roll back. They're not
No.
going backwards. They're like, sorry, like that's
Well,
it.
and you know, like anything, like when it comes to inclusion versus not inclusion, you know, as generations progress, people are going to start to understand that inclusion is more important than anything else, other than, you know, like when it comes to competition, and that's
Yeah.
Right.
like you know, our generation and even the generation after us, and even our kids are. Every generation is going to get more understanding and go, well, this is dumb. Like,
Right.
who cares who wins the Super Bowl? Like, it's just cool to watch, and the sport is awesome. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean,
Agreed.
I don't agree. I don't think that, but I'm saying like people do, right? So
yeah.
I don't know.
One
I mean,
might think
I'm
that.
honestly kind of, I get that the illegal betting rings and everything are bringing billions of dollars in
Go
with,
ahead.
you know, all this stuff. But
Such a
I'm-
loaded statement.
It's
Go ahead.
crazy. It's
I'm
crazy.
surprised that football hasn't been like, I get like that there's like these mega fans, but I'm surprised like with all of the like science and everything
Yeah.
that has happened, like didn't someone just die?
Annie, it's America. It's America's game.
Straight
It's
up.
America's
Straight up.
game.
That is literally
Two
the only
things
reason it still
you're never
exists.
going to take from
You get
America:
your
our Second
football-
Amendment rights and the right to bash our brains into other big guys'
Do
brains.
you want?
Yep.
Do you want full
Okay,
brain
we
function
love it.
for the rest of your life? Don't
No.
ever play football.
Don't ever put your kids in football.
there was that kid. That was that one guy who is running on the field or whatever, and he just
Hamlin,
Yeah.
Lamar Hamlin.
Homie just like
passed out.
basically drops dead on the field.
Well, he
here.
got
He wasn't. He didn't
pumped-
die.
got
He's alive.
He was
tackled after
please,
a
please.
play, and then after that play, then he dropped it.
We didn't talk about that. You know
Didn't
how
we?
crazy that was? Like they were
didn't he
saying
just,
that
like,
he
get
got
better?
hit
Yeah.
at the exact moment where like the rhythm of his heartbeat, and that's what caused it.
His heart stopped?
The impact
Yeah.
at the
Cardiac arrest.
exact millisecond is what caused that. Nothing else. No pre-existing conditions.
Which seems crazy, but when every day your job is to bash your brains and body into other
Sure.
people,
Granted, they
I feel
have
like
helmets.
the odds are better. Yeah.
Isn't the age of
It's
football
just
like
it's a vessel for your oozing.
when you're
Yeah.
when you're
Brains.
over like 24 in football, it's like geriatric.
Yeah, you're done.
Right?
Your career
Yeah.
is
The
over.
average
Well,
career
yeah,
is
Tom,
20 years.
Tom Brady,
Prime of
about
your life.
time. Sit down.
Didn't he re-retire?
Yeah, he
Yes.
retired.
You guys
hear that?
He's like, that's it.
He retired and then he unretired and then he
He wants his
re-retired.
freaking wife back.
And then
Yeah.
also,
Oh,
I
that's so
heard
sad.
that this is so crazy. The Patriots want him to retire as a Patriot so bad that Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, has offered him a 1-day contract so that he can officially retire
as a Patriot. He's like, there's one stipulation: you got to stop kissing
Wow,
your
for
son on the
someone
mouth.
who says
You
they're not
gotta
a
stop
football
doing it.
fan,
Please, for the love of God, stop kissing your son on the mouth.
I think John might be in these illegal rings. He
I
knows
think
a lot
so.
about
I think
this
he
stuff.
I
does.
think now hear me out. I think John likes sports.
I think so too.
I think he
I like
leaves this
baseball.
whole. I like baseball.
I do.
Why do you even know that?
It's
about the
America's
Patriots
pastime,
thing?
Annie.
but it's not America's game.
Let me say
That's true.
this.
It will be
I would
one day.
rather take baseball over football.
Same.
And I'm just gonna say that.
That's
Baseball's
But say
so
that.
much fun.
Baseball season's
By the
coming.
way, the
Jake, please
environment in
continue to be a
baseball?
listener. I would love to
gosh.
learn more about the sport if it means that you continue to listen.
He quits.
He
immediately
goes,
stops.
and that's it. You've attacked my sport. You
Goodbye.
are done.
Guys, what's your favorite NFL like ringtone? You know the channel songs.
No, I don't.
I don't know any of them.
I don't. I didn't grow.
Or there's my personal favorite.
Monday night.
Dun dun dun
football
dun
versus-
dun ba bum ba bum.
I think those are the
Annie?
only two.
Dun 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 dun. ba,
He has
dun,
a
dun,
different
dun.
brain than us.
I
he
don't
remembers
know
those
any
things.
of those. My family never watched football.
Well, you don't know it because you never watched it.
Like, but I'm saying like the idea that you like that there's like which one do you like the most?
I don't
For
think
these
there's an
things,
answer
I have
there.
no idea.
There's not an
I
answer.
John, you've got a favorite.
no.
I do think that their theme music is generally epic, which is cool. But like, I don't know that I have a specific one.
Yeah, I just something about it. I think that we
Slam
should.
Diego is my favorite song.
my
Joe
God.
Dreams. Someday we'll get Joe Dreams on this show.
Awesome.
Joe
Cara.
Dreams, we're calling for you to come be on our show.
All right, it's time to end this.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Wait,
Kara's
wait,
hungry,
wait,
Kara's
wait,
hungry.
wait,
Go
wait,
ahead.
wait. I want to bring it back real quick before we leave.
Just wrap it up.
Who do you think deserves a Grammy?
Oh.
Period. Anyone in the world, who do you think deserves a Grammy?
I feel like who I'm
She's
thinking
gonna turn
of
into
are,
my-
would already
I'm
have
actually-
ours.
I'm pretty happy this weekend. The Foo Fighters got a Lifetime Achievement Award
beautiful.
That's
from the
sweet.
Grammys.
That's
Yep.
sweet.
Okay, wrong answer. Next.
That's what I was gonna say. So that's it.
I mean, it's hard. Like, are you talking about somebody who
Oh my
doesn't
gosh, just
already
anyone
have
in the
one?
world,
That-
anyone in the whole dang world, who do you think deserves a
Beyonce
Grammy?
got snubbed this weekend.
I really do think that Harry Styles deserved the one he
Oh my
got.
gosh, he already has one. Okay, next.
Wait,
Cara,
that's
wrong
what I was
answer.
asking.
Wrong
I was
answer.
asking if-
Cara?
oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and I.
Oh, Kara.
Good
For
answer.
what?
Good
For what?
answer.
Written and produced any songs?
For a
period.
performance?
I haven't, but
Period.
performance?
she
She
said
deserves one.
anyone.
Straight
and
up.
anyone that I'm thinking of
You
probably
deserve
already
it.
has
You
one.
deserve
So
it.
me.
Okay.
I didn't know that was part of it. Clearly.
Myself.
Go ahead.
Mine would be
Best
the
podcast.
talented Michael Pinning. Thank you.
I agree with that.
You're
I agree with
pandering.
that.
You're pandering to our audience right
Pandering,
now.
but
Michael,
hey,
you
wow.
can Venmo
Nice.
me at
Okay.
Annie Skovmand.
Wait, he
on
pays
Venmo.
you for
No,
endorsements?
he didn't. He didn't.
On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovman. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And we'll see you next week on
On
What the Podcast. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, ba,
Michael, you're late on your payments for my